Good morning, people. It's Leon Liederman, the 17th of May. Thanks for those joining online, for those apologizing, and for others. I was approached a week or what ago if I can't create a working document to bring people with different views together. And I said, fine, we will use this meeting, but the aim is actually to go to 7 national meetings and meet a few thousand people. A simple question, it's Saturday morning. Let's ask where South Africa is today. Most of the coloureds are either at funerals, or in the shops, or some sport function. Some are walking around the dam. What are the blacks doing? They in the shops and in political meetings. Even the coloureds have got a big political meeting, but Patriotic Alliance in PE, and there's another group in Mossel Bay today. What are the white people doing? A lot of the white people. The businessmen are sitting at home, enjoying the fruits of the income of having businesses. And our Indian friends, they're busy in their shops. The point I'm trying to make with that is, if we look at the current state of the South African economy. Now, my presentation is called Growcom Investor and Sales Structure. Now, I've got a saying, ek bou 'n pad, 'n brug van bo af. Now, I'm going to start at the back. There's 25 slides, and then you can ask questions, and then we're going to go through the working document. Now, if you look at the slide, the current scenario where the different racial groups are, just to give me an example. I read an article last year on the plane. Every one white in South Africa owns 33 times the assets of a black, 14 times of a colored. Now here's the difference. Only 1.67 of the Indians. That means the Indians' financial wealth is almost on par with the whites. Technically, they are wealthier than the whites. Remember, they came into South Africa as indentured slaves. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you it's all about your mindset. Now, when I used to do training, and I stand by this, I said by 2030, all the coloureds that are entrepreneurial will become wealthy. Whites will become poorer, and one white woman said, "Maar Leon, ons is klaar besig om armer te raak." That was 15 years ago. And my classes used to say, I must not make predictions, it becomes true. And then I said blacks after 2030, and one young guy in Pietermaritzburg said, "No, Tati, no, 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 no." And I explained to him. Now here's the shock. Black South Africans, it's a wake-up call. I've changed my timelines. It's only going to get rich after 2035. And why that? They are fighting for political power. If you look at this issue now with the higher education and the CETA boards, every second TikTok video that you're getting, you find the blacks are fighting amongst one another. And the whites, Afrikaners, they don't know whether they must stay or whether they must go to South Africa. Now, remember I said the whites are going to get poorer. Now the moment you get infighting, the coloureds on the other hand, talk the same language across South Africa, something that is called pro-sociality. Now the coloured group will drive the economic revolution in South Africa. Now, there's definitely going to be a change of the political landscape. You first have to control the political economy to control the real economy. And that will be driven by the colored group, which is basically marginalized. Now, if you go to the shops, I mean, the new rates haven't even started. The shops are empty. Our economy is down on its knees. So the only way of starting this revolution is to pool our services. So we got a system where you know the client. Let me give you the example of the Uber driver. So the Uber driver has got a car and he's got a skill. Uber provides him with a platform to link him up with a passenger, and he makes money. Now the Growcom model is basically the same with all the products that we're going to sell online. So you got access to clients, we got the contracts with insurance companies or whatever, and we got an IT platform to link them. My eldest son is 37. They're in an IT company, employ 36 people. They got people like Anglo American, Blue Label Telecoms, Truworths, Johnson's Ware, and Growcom is going to be one of their clients. But the differentiating fact with our model is, if we make 1,000 rand, and this is why our model is a threat to others, 400 rand of cost comes to Growcom, 300 rand to the salesperson, and 100 rand for us. Now you might ask, why only 100 rand? What happens to the other 600? You don't need physical buildings anymore. I'm hosting this workshop in the Educare, and you know all it cost us today? 500 rand. But I'm talking to people nationally. A number of years ago, it would have cost me to have a big national meeting, 50,000, 60,000 rand. So that is what has happened. Then, this is our model, and 4 investors walked away. Liberty was one of them that said my model is a threat to the big insurance company. Of the 600 rand profit after tax, 240 rand goes to the investors, 210 to the client, and 150 rand to a beneficiary organization like this creche. Now, why am I mentioning this? We want 100,000 people to pay 1,000 rand each, of which they will get 40 shares, and they will get my induction training manual. Here I hold it up, which was regarded in 2008 to 2011 already as the best training manual in South Africa. It's been modified here. This training module is worth about 2,000 rand. You get 40 shares, and the beauty is you get the sales opportunity. Our bank details will be made available. Now, what is the benefit to you? Anybody can become a sales agent. Nowadays, you don't have to have the technical skills. You are not giving advice. You are like the Uber driver. You just link the client and take him somewhere. It's all about networking. It's about access to business. Okay. Now, in 2014, I designed medical aid products, and the Council for Medical Schemes couldn't accredit it. Was finally given the right of way for last year. Here's some of my people here. They were in the online meeting. We were given the right for a mutual bank by the Reserve Bank. I've designed a medical aid that within 8 years, after 8 years, you don't pay more. You don't pay any hospital fee. On average, our premium will be about 200 rand cheaper, 20%. Then I designed products like a GP assist, spec assist, dent assist and that. The beauty of the product is the hospital product. If you don't use it in the first 8 years, the average family of 4 goes to hospital once every 8 years. You get a little cash back every year. After 8 years, it becomes like a sovereign fund. You don't have to pay for hospital cover anymore for the rest of your life. And here's the beauty. 2 children can join maximum. All that they have to do is pay 1 or 2 years extra premium, and they don't have to pay for medical anymore. With the other products, the GPS spec assist and that, the average family of 4 goes to the doctor 8 times a year. We give them 13 visits. But if you don't use all those visits, a certain amount of that money goes into your pocket, and a certain amount is for reserves. That is what makes our products. Then I was called in to develop semi-private schools. I think the average cost of a private school is about 80,000 to 100,000 a year. We've developed a model. If we have 1 million parents that pay in 10,000 in year 1, we'll be able to build 500 schools with 2,000 pupils in 5 years. On average, they will pay about 50,000 or 60,000 per year. Some Model C schools out there. After 10 years, that parent don't have to pay school fees anymore. But not that. They are shareholders in the school, and we will own the buildings. Not like your current Curo and Redem and that, where it is owned. The teachers will also be shareholders. It's a completely different model now, etc. Okay? The same, we're going to have semi-private hospitals. Where you have our medical aid, you visit that hospital, we will give employment to thousands of medical personnel. They will also have shares. And the beauty is, after year 10, the hospital's buildings are fully paid off. Fully paid off. The staff income then becomes self-funding, because we've generated so much money that there's enough money for them. It's a complete, some of this information I can't share with you, it's too dangerous, I won't. Okay. We're going to have our economic hubs through Gareth Ackerman and Pick n Pay. By the way, the refreshments today are sponsored by Pick n Pay. I've met Raymond Ackerman 4 times. We're going to have our own virtual shops in partnership. We're going to have the problem in South Africa is, we need to create a new town, because all our towns are racially structured, and especially in the Western Cape with the DA and the rest of the country, there is no way that you'll be able to fix that infrastructure that was damaged. No way. It will be better if you go, I did honors in urban and development geography. There's a book called The Death of the City. What the DA have done, they protected the building owners in Cape Town at the expense of the poorer people. Cape Town has got the 9th highest traffic congestion in the world, and it's not, I think it's not even in the top 100 cities where not just size is concerned with the amount of cars. Okay. So this is the model. I'm not going to worry. We've got access to the market. I said we want 100,000 people to invest 1,000 rand, and we want 100,000 people to bring their short-term policies over to us. We've got the contracts. We're seeing our investment fund partner on Monday to get going. So that is fine. Access to clients, I've built it up over the years. Okay. We have various companies. The investment company our medical aid company, our short-term insurance, our own cell phone brand, our innovation hub where we will have the schools and the hospitals. But of course of this, we will have about 50,000 salespeople across South Africa. Now you might ask me, we are accredited within CETA. Now with the SRU investigating, there's big trouble for them. We applied for 3,000 learnerships. I don't want learnerships, there's enough graduates. They promised us last year 500. Then the UIF, the NSF approached me, and my people here were in the meeting for 1,600 for 54 million. That is almost 2.5 years ago. In May last year, they came for a site visit and asked me I must stop and what can I do for the poorer areas. I then designed a model, 20,000 graduates over 3 years for 600 million. By the way, I speak under correction. The 5 billion UIF that was cancelled, I suspect they took my model. 2 gentlemen at the FSCA said, but it sounds the same. Then the UIF, in June 2023, 2 of the gentlemen were in the meeting, asked him within 5 minutes they approved our budget. In April last year we signed the pledge, but in January we were not invited to Khayelitsha. So I've taken the matter up. That is for 150 million. If we get 5 or 10 or 20,000 of that, we will fly. Okay. I don't have to talk about the structure of the companies, more that you'll see a video of our economic hubs. That is all. And what we are going to do is in the non-white, especially colored market, there's engineering firms, architectural firms, accounting firms and that, which is the first of their kind, but there's no generational follow-up because the children study that. So we want to build this company international. Then every economic hub is going to have about 30 smaller like delis and those type of things. That is easy. All the products we are going to have our own semi-private University of Entrepreneurship. We've got a funeral product. We've got short-term. We've got investments. We're going to have online shopping, our mutual bank, our medical aid products. We've got our IT partners. So the products are there. So we've got people, we've got products, and we've got market. Those are the most important. As one senior actuary told me, you can have what product, but if you don't have access to market, and that is basically, it's about investor. Now, remember I said in the beginning, where's the coloreds today? Looks like some of them go to the funerals to go show off and to just to eat. Or they're at some sports function, or that. Where's the blacks? In the shops, having sishanyama, having the car wash, and all that. We must become like the Indians. You sell today. The client is important because the client gives you money to become wealthy. Why do you think Indians are almost as wealthy as the whites? And the whites, they're in corporate business. Okay, they were benefited under apartheid, but that's life. But they move on a different type of business. So we must change the mindsets of the coloreds and the black, because we are the most unequal society. We've got the highest Gini coefficient. The gap between the rich and the poor, and the highest unemployment in South Africa. Our graduate unemployment has gone up to 24%. For the first month, 3 months this year, our unemployment has increased by 300,000. In 2012, I drew a product, a diagram, showing how you have a white on white fight, a white and black fight, a Jew against the Englishman and the Afrikaner, They're all fighting with the blacks. You see it now with AfriForum. It's a white-black fight. And where's the colours and the Indians? They laugh all the way. The colours are not laughing all the way to the bank yet. The Indians are continuing. They're continuing with business. That is why I said the next generation, wealthy generation, is the coloured group. Nothing to do with race, it's generational. Okay. Money you can earn. Remember I said, if we have 1,000 rand, 400 goes for cost of sales, 300 to the salesman. I can tell you a person with 100 clients of about 100 clients, that person can earn anything from 73,000 rand per month, and you can still have a full-time job. There's money to be made. There's money with all the products there. But the most important thing is your money personality will determine how successful you become. When I trained insurance brokers, I noticed a lot of these people didn't understand themselves. You get 3 money personalities. 18 cent, those are the people that get SASSA grants and whatever. 50 cent, the most dangerous person in the world, and especially amongst the blacks. They all want to work for government. They want a secure job. Now there's a saying, when the professor retires, his children can't inherit his pension or his position. 60% is all your consultants, your accounting, your legal firms. What you need is 75% personalities. Our entrepreneurial rate is the lowest, was the lowest of the developing world in 2009. It's even gone 10 times worse. Blacks want to work in government, a job. I want a job. I want a job. What other colours say? Nee, daar's niks vir die breinmense nie. En wat sê die boere? Nee, hulle maak ons dood op die plaas, hulle discrimineer, ons gaan maar nou Amerika toe. And what does the Indian do? Nice price, special price, he's selling. The colours and the blacks must learn to start their own businesses. What is an entrepreneur? I have a simple example. It's like you stand on the 90th floor of a business, of your building, and your boss comes in, pack your goods, you fire. Then you go out on the balcony and you decide you're going to take your own life. And as you fall down the ground, not R. Kelly because he did bad things, you sing, I believe I can fly. You land on your feet, safe, no money, but you got guts. If you have the ability to lose money, the willingness to lose money in that, you can become an entrepreneur. Most of the big entrepreneurs started with nothing and they became bankrupt. I've been without a salary for 12 years. I had to take the punch. Very soon, we'll have 50,000 people selling for us. Why do you think 4 companies, 2 banks, one of the biggest banks in insurance companies, these people were in the meetings, said my model is a threat to the big banks and the insurance companies. They want to invest and then they walk back. One was government related, but I think they wanted a bribe and but that's fine. We are going to self-fund, but we're not going to stop. I've got a slide here which you will see. It's about generational wealth. Mine started with my father being retrenched in 1984, starting his own parcel shop. I left education in 2002. I managed a medical aid. I had a training company. And now I'm going to have 50,000 people selling. My eldest son is 37. He walked out of is working 28. They employ 37 people. The youngest one, he's 35 almost. Him and his fiancée, medical doctor, is going to a multidisciplinary healthcare practice. None of my brothers, only one passed matric. They're all successful, all live well. They don't work for government. My 3 granddaughters probably don't have to work because they will own 51% of the shares of Growcom. That is an entrepreneur. If my father wasn't retrenched in 1984 and didn't go and look for other work, he started a spaza shop and grows 40,000 rand a month. So it's all about your attitude. And that is why you have to pay in your 1,000 rand. I will make you a millionaire. Listen to me. You get 40 shares and you get this induction manual. This one. This will determine how wealthy you will become. In that way, we're going to create wealth for people of all races in South Africa. But I'm unapologetic. It will be driven by the colored group. Any economic revolution anywhere in the world is driven by a group that is marginalized. The Afrikaners were put in the concentration camp by the British. It took them from 1933 to 1948, about 18 to 20 years, to start using their financial muscle. Unfortunately, they started apartheid. It takes 70 years for one group to start collapsing. The Afrikaners are now in a state of collapse. You can see it with them going to America, fighting the DA. The DA doesn't know if they want to be an English party or a racist party. As white fight. They don't have to even fight amongst blacks and colors anymore, they destroy them. The blacks, as EFF, as MK, as ANC, and all the smaller parties. If you look at what's happening amongst the colors, they have got political parties, but it's more centrist, more economic model parties. And that centrist group, driven by the colors and assisted by the other smaller parties, is going to be the dominant force by 2029. I said the other day at the UWC function, in 1976, when I was first year, was the political revolution by students. Next year, and it has started, watch my word, we are in an economic revolution that will culminate next year with the local government elections, which is driven by the middle class. And as my class has said, the DA is the one that will have suffer the biggest loss next year. They don't know whether they want to serve the masses. They've got a new liberal model that follows. The ANC, unfortunately, has got too many internal fights, and whether we like it or not, the corruption and the cadre deployment has hurt them. We cannot have a Gini coefficient of 0.69. Means the rich person earns 69 times basically more money than what the poor person. And I substantiated in the beginning when I said, one white has the assets of 33 blacks. One white has the assets of 8 colors. One white has the assets of 1.67 Indians. We need to change that. We need to bring the colors down to about 4. The Indians will be equal, and we need to halve the blacks. And the only model that can do that is the Growcom model. I thank you. You can ask questions. This video will be on YouTube and it will be on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, not on Facebook, because my face is too big for Facebook. Dankie mense, thank you very much. You can ask questions now.